Hey everyone, back to you into today's video, doing my CFS 6 months look ahead for March. Today, going to have a look at the next 6 months worth of charts from the CFS V2 model to see what it's showing for the next 6 months. Now this is just for fun, really. It's just for amusement purposes. Don't be taking it too seriously, please. Don't do that. The next month or two, there is some merit in this. But as we go out sort of 4, 5, 6 months away, that's far too far away to have any confidence in the solutions that the model is showing. So going to be taking us through to September. It'll be interesting to see what it's showing for September, but as I say, don't take it too seriously by any means. Now, before we get on with the CFS 6 months look, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on most pages at gasoffice.com. Have a browse through the widgets, and any articles that you're interested in, please click through. You'll be able to go off and read those articles, and thanks so much for doing that. The competition is ending today, so you've got a few more hours left to get your name and address into the prize draw, and you do that by emailing your name and address to gasoffice@gmail.com. So you have to do, don't have to do anything else. Just email your name and address to gasoffice@gmail.com. You go into the prize draw, and you could be pulled out and win this lovely, fantastic climate handheld wind meter and anemometer. It's worth £32.50. It records the strength of the wind, and it also tells you a wind chill as well. So it's a lovely prize. It's a fantastic prize, and you could well be in the chance of winning it if you just send your name and address to gasoffice@gmail.com. The competition will end at 5 o'clock this evening. Then I've got to get all the names and addresses together, put them in the bag. We'll be putting one of those names out at random, and at 7 o'clock this evening on this page that you're looking at just here, gasoffice.com/competitions.php, on this page at 7 o'clock, the winner will be announced in a video, and also I'll print the name of the winner on the page as well for anyone that can't watch the videos. There are various reasons why people can't watch the videos, because they haven't got that kind of facility on their computers, or maybe they can't hear very well. So there's several reasons why people don't watch the video. So if you can't watch the video but you're into the competition, don't worry, I'll put the name of the winner up on the page as well. But you've got to be in it to win it, so just a few more hours left. And we'll see tonight. It'll be very, very interesting who wins this competition. Right, let's get on then with the video. And we're going to start off with the CFS V2 700 with our height anomalies first of all. And then we'll go on and do the corresponding temperature and corresponding precipitation anomalies. So we're going to start off with height anomalies first. We've got April coming up first one. Of course, this is just a month away, so there's a little bit more merit in what we're looking at here. Hopefully, there's a better chance of this coming off than the sort of chart we're going to be looking at for August and September. But for April, we're seeing a relatively disappointing month. April has been on these charts for quite a few of the updates, quite an enigma, really. It's been difficult to pin down what's going on with April. The signal is getting stronger now for an unsettled month. So I've got the blue colours here at 700 millibars, running through the Atlantic and centred to the northeast of Canada as well. The jet stream is going through something like that. So it's a pretty unsettled looking sort of month, really. We've got a bit of high pressure down across Spain and Portugal, but overall we're bringing the jet stream through with areas of low pressure, so it's not great. It would be a relatively unsettled month. Best of weather probably in the south-southwest is high pressure down across Spain and Portugal, but all places will have risk of some rain, and temperatures probably around average. Have a look at the temperatures in a moment. That reach down across Spain and Portugal strengthens as we go through into May. This is 700 millibar height anomaly for May. We're going to reach down there, but it doesn't really help us a great deal. We've still got the low pressure in the Atlantic, and that's still running through into the UK. Again, the jet stream is going like that, so more or less coming through the country between the ridge down to the southwest and the trough in the Atlantic. Just of the orientation of that trough, we may get slightly warmer flows coming up from the southwest perhaps, but overall again it's another relatively unsettled signal coming through for May. Now, as we go on into June, bit difficult to say what's going on here. We've still got some low pressure, or below average heights really, to the south of Greenland. We've got this ridge around the Azores, and we've also got a ridge up over Scandinavia. On the face of it, it doesn't look too bad. I think the jet stream is going something like that. But I would think there is the risk still with this low pressure here. There's a risk that we could sort of send a trough down actually, like that, between the ridge up over Scandinavia and the ridge around the Azores. We could run the jet stream and run a trough through. It'll be interesting what the temperature and precipitation anomalies are looking like for that. It's a difficult one to call, but overall probably not as good as it looks. Now this looks quite good. This is the 700 millibar height anomaly for July, but of course we're going a long way out now, so there's a lot of unreliability with this, but it is showing a strong ridge there over Scandinavia, and that sort of backs down in towards France as well. I mean, ties in with the ridge through the Azores. The low pressure in the Atlantic looks like it's stalled, and I think the flow with that is going something like that. So it could be a decent month there for July. That could be the best of it for the summer. The low pressure's out in the Atlantic, the high pressure's ridging through the UK and going up to Scandinavia. I think that looks quite good. We'll have a look at the temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with that in a moment. But it all goes down the pan big time as we go through into August. Now, the saving grace with this is that it's 5 months away, so this really is in the realm of just for fun. But look what it does for August. It sets up all these yellow colours here across the northern latitudes. That's a lot of northern blocking, and a trough of low pressure is stuck right over top of the country. So, well, you can guess what's going to be happening with that. The jet stream is going like that. And that's very disappointing in August. If it came off, it would be very cool, be a very wet month. But as I say, the saving grace there is that it's 5 months away. I mean, going through into September, again, so far away, 6 months just for fun. But then we lift that trough out of the country, we lose the northern blocking, and we get this ridge setting up to the southwest. So as ever, September could be a bit of a saving grace there. There's some sort of trough going on there, but then the flow comes back up like that. So I think better for September would be a drier, warmer month if it came off like that. And of course, that's the big question mark because it's 6 months away. Right, let's see how the temperature and precipitation anomalies correspond to this. And here we go for April, first of all. And we've got average temperatures here for April. So, as I suspected, we'll bring the jet stream through. It's neither warm nor cold, but average temperatures. But it's cooler in the west, and it's warmer up to the east and the northeast. And that's going to be a trend that we see quite a bit, actually, as we run through these charts. So, for May, well, even hinting at being a little bit cooler than average there for the UK, parts of France, Germany, Low Countries, but warm anomalies again up to the northeast. But May has consistently looked like a relatively cool month from the CFS V2 model. It's still going for that idea that May could be pretty chilly on the whole, and into June as well. Now, I thought June could be reasonably okay, but there was the question mark about whether we're digging that trough in between the two ridges. There's a ridge down here somewhere, and of course we know we've got the ridge up here as well. So we've got two ridges to the southwest and the northeast, but I did wonder whether we could be dipping a trough through between those ridges like that, and maybe with the temperatures looking as they do, that could be what's going on there. We'll know more when we see precipitation anomaly. Now, July, I thought July looked like the best of it, but notice we're still coming out average, and maybe even just a little hint there with that blue splotch across Leeds. Just a little hint there, maybe, that we're still coming out relatively cool for July. But notice the orange colours are much, much more extensive there across Europe. They back in towards Germany, they go down to France, down to Spain and Portugal. Most of Europe covered with above average temperature anomalies there, and I think on the 700 millibar height anomaly with the high pressure sort of ridging through the country and going up to here and the jet stream running like that, I think July has the best prospect of being a warm month. Wouldn't necessarily necessarily be running away with the idea it's going to be a very hot month by any means, but certainly July has been, on the 700 mil height anomaly, has the prospect of being the best of it, but it's a long way off. Not so for August. The temperature anomaly is coming out about average for August, but we've got blocking up to the north, we've got a trough over the country. I would suspect a colder than average month on that setup would be likely. And then we come out average again with the temperatures for September. Notice a little bit warmer there for central parts of Europe. Again, I've talked about this in videos that we've been doing since the start of the year. 2015 has certainly started off on a cooler note compared to 2014. It's not a cold year by any means, but it is significantly colder than it was at the same period up to now in 2014. And if these CFS anomalies are anything to go by, this is going to continue through certainly the spring and into the summer as well. So there's no sign here of a return to the extreme sort of mild warm pattern that we had in 2014. That's to say, we won't switch back to that, but there's no suggestion of it on these charts. Equally, there's no suggestion of going desperately cold either, but certainly going back towards average is significantly cooler, if you see what I mean, compared to where we was at this point in 2014. Right, let's just have a look at the precipitation anomalies, see how they're stacking up. And remember, for April, we're running the jet stream through the country, so precipitation anomalies are coming out on the wet side of the average. Excuse me, for next month. The driest anomalies are down to the south, but generally quite an unsettled month being hinted at there for April. Unsettled month again being hinted at for May. So May looks pretty poor, doesn't it? Temperature anomalies are the greatest chance, excuse me, have the greatest chance anyway for coming out cooler than average, but at the same time we've also got hints at that we have a wetter than average month as well, so not a great month for May. Going through to June, and this confirms what my suspicion was. Remember, for June we've got the high down here and the high up here, and I thought we're probably digging down the jet stream like that under a trough, and I think that does hint that with those precipitation anomalies. It's coming out a little bit drier than average for Scotland though, and that's because we've got this ridge sort of extending in really from Scandinavia just to the far northeast of the country, but generally it's quite an unsettled month for June. Drier for July, as I say, we're ridging that high pressure through the country, so July does look like the best of this summer. Not necessarily great, but we're ridging the highs through like that. And the jet stream is going up here. So we're on the mild side of the jet for July, we should be, and we're under a ridge, so it's dry. I think July holds out the best prospect, but as it goes really down the tubes for August, luckily it's 5 months away, but look at this, the whole country coming out wetter than average, as is, excuse me, again, as is most of Central Europe as well. Very cool, unsettled month in August, a disappointing end to the summer, and not a great summer overall either, you have to say, on these charts. And then finally for September, maybe a little bit surprisingly, I thought September would be drier than that, but it's coming out a little bit wetter than average again for England and Wales. So that's it, and well, it's hard to know what to make of it really, but I think what we can take from this is that there's no suggestion that we're going back to the very warm temperatures that we had in 2014. So, famous last words, but I would suspect now we've had 3 months that are closer to average, looks like it'll go on a bit longer. I would suspect we're going to have a significantly cooler year, 2015, compared to the record-breaking warm of 2014, and overall it's just looking sort of average conditions, really nothing particularly hot, not particularly cold, and I suppose that heralds a pretty disappointing summer really. You would want it to be warmer and dry. I think most people anyway want it to be warmer and drier for the summer, and there's no real suggestion. July may be the best of it, but yeah, interesting update. It looks like we're sticking around where we are now, which is sort of average temperatures. That's it for now. We'll do another CFS 6 months look out for April, and that will take us right way through to October. That's all for now. Don't get to enter the competition, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching.